10 seconds, 5 seconds, start. Coming to the facts of the present case, it cannot be said that the defense taken by the defendant is totally sham. There are certain circumstances which may prima facie raise some doubts about the credibility of plaintiff's version and lend some credence to the defense taken by the defendant that the checks in question were without consideration. Although, as per the plaintiff, 4 checks were presented to the banker and each time they were dishonored. Not a single letter was written by the plaintiff to the defendant about the return of these checks as unpaid. Further, learned counsel for the plaintiff made candid admission to the effect that no notice was served on the defendant before filing the present suit. Why plaintiff would not write a single letter or serve notice upon the defendant for payment of the alleged outstanding amount before filing the suit is baffling to the mind. Now, let us examine this aspect further in the context of the submissions made by the defendants. It is not explained by the plaintiff as to on what account these payments were received. Thus, the defendant has raised good defense and a triable issue indicating that he has fair and bona fide defense. Moreover, this court in the case of Suri and Suri Private Limited held that when the suit is filed on the basis of several dishonored checks not present at all for encashment, relief claimed would be outside the scope of Order 37 of CPC and would not be maintainable. The plant will have to be dealt with in ordinary way. No doubt there may be some justification in the stand taken by the plaintiff, but for filing the suit under Order 37 of the Code of Civil Procedure, it was still necessary for the plaintiff to present the remaining checks to the bank. Admittedly, 7 out of 11 checks given by the defendant were not presented for payment. Therefore, the suit under Order 37 would not be maintainable. It is settled rule of law that wherever the defense put forth by the applicant defendant is bona fide and raises triable issues, the applicant defendant would be entitled to leave to defend. This rule vests pervasive judicial discretion in the court of grant, refuse or grant conditional leave to defend the suit by the defendant. This discretion, of course, has to be exercised in accordance with settled principles of law. There is dual purpose sought to be served under the specific provisions of Order 37 of the Code. One is to provide expeditious disposal of the claim by adopting recourse to summary procedure, while the other is to provide a safeguard to the interest of the plaintiff. In other words, if the court is satisfied with the claim of the plaintiff and the fact that the defendant has only sham or moonshine defense, the court may refuse to grant leave to defend and pass the decree forthwith. But in other cases, the court may grant leave with or without condition.